I think sometimes I'm big on having grace towards people because you never know what's going on. So always used to talking in front of people, talking in front of cameras. I mean, not really, but like I always give my 2 cents. So where I landed up, and I just happened to land up in the best community on Twitch.
Okay, Leventisthesoy. I want to start off by asking you what you think the most overrated snack is. I'll start. For me,
honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
I think chips.
Chips.
Yeah, or whatever you weird Australians say, crisps.
Like crisps or something, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're good, but like they're not like good snacks because they're not filling at all. So
okay,
it's not a good snack. I think it's overrated.
That's fair. I'm not a big chip guy, but I think for me, I was going to say Skittles. I think is the most overrated thing. They're good as a snack. They're tasty and everything, but I think they're overrated in that they're not satisfying. You know, you need like a million of them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've ever eaten Skittles as a snack.
Really? Okay.
I don't eat candy as a snack. To me, that's like, I don't know. Candy doesn't count as anything.
No? Okay.
It's not like any meal. It's not like a snack. It's just like, it's not even calories. You know what I mean? It doesn't count.
Yeah, the calories don't count in snacks. Yep.
Yeah.
I'd like to live by that rule. Yeah.
But you're right. I feel like if I want like a snack, I want something that's going to actually make me like feel some level of satisfied. So it's like, if I were to eat a Skittle, that does nothing. That is just a dark hole of Skittles.
I was considering not asking you the food question to start the podcast because I know you're in a bit of a fast right now.
Oh, bro, we're scuffed.
But I have to. So you've only got, you've been fasting for like how long now?
We're at 2 weeks. Yesterday, 2 weeks. Yeah, so I have a week and 3 days left. And today I was really feeling it because I saw chili cheese fries and I was like,
no.
Yeah. But I think I feel really good. It's good mentally, but it's just like, it's the community and like habit of like having food and like eating and having dinner. And it's just super weird because it's like your entire routine's thrown off.
Because it's like you feel like you can't spend the same time with people because they're eating and it'll trigger you or something.
Yeah. It's not really trigger. It's more of like, I feel like it's weird. Like I had like an office thing and like they were going to lunch and I was like, I feel like it's weird to like be there and not eat with everyone. Because like you're the one person at the table drinking water and you're not eating. So it's like, it feels like, because naturally I feel like people, like everyone like waits for everyone to get their food. And it's like, I think it's just like, it throws off some of the social like situations. But then also it's like, you just miss like food. Like food's good. And it's a part of like sharing love and community. And then like you take that out of your life and you're like, I have so much free time now because I'm not like thinking of my food. I'm not planning my food. I'm not buying my food. So I've been very productive. I've gotten so much stuff done because I'm not eating.
You have. And you've recently started streaming too, which is added to your busyness, I feel like.
Yes. It's been very hard balancing everything, like balancing gym with work, with streaming. And it's like this weird desire to like, I'm like, I love streaming. I love talking and playing games. And I think it's one of those things where it's like, it's an excuse to play games longer than I usually would. But it's been a very interesting like thing to start and like journey to start, and a weird perspective from going from like the viewer to like someone who's like creating content and creating like that stream environment and thinking about what do you want it to be and how do you want it to look like. So it's a weird transition there.
Let's start with how you found video games and streaming and things like that. How did you start getting into that? Were you just browsing websites, found Twitch, or it got recommended to you, or YouTube, or?
So I actually was never really a gamer. I used to literally sit there and watch my older brother play. So that's like my introduction to video games, is I would sit there with him. I remember biggest one was Kingdom Hearts, and I would just sit there and watch him play for hours and like watch the whole story. So, but I was like, oh, I'm not good to play. I can't play. I'm not good at this stuff. But he's the one who introduced me to Twitch, which ironically was Tim the Tap Man. That was the first stream I ever watched. And then I totally like, I got into Fortnite heavy, and I started like trying to watch different streamers and trying to get better at this game, which I never did. And then I kind of like took like a huge break. So like when COVID, I feel like everyone like started watching Twitch. I got completely off Twitch. I just completely left it. Yeah. So like my comeback was relatively recently. Like I came back to Twitch within like a year. So it's been a year back now. But yeah, it's kind of a little bit of, I guess, that kind of introduction into Twitch. And ironically, I fell back into Twitch through a math problem. So like I stumbled my way back into Twitch after leaving for so long.
Is that one of Miguel's math problems from TikTok?
Yeah. Okay, here's the thing. I didn't even know what COD was really. So I wasn't like,
What?
I never had any exposure to it. Yeah, I never had any exposure to it.
Okay.
So I didn't know. I saw a YouTube video of Tim playing it because I had no reference for what Call of Duty was or what Warzone was. Like I was completely new to this whole environment. So when I stepped into Miguel's stream, it was like I got introduced to a completely different environment. Playing with people who like, oh, I've been playing COD for 10 years. Like I've never seen anything like that. So it was like I was just completely fresh and new, just like a complete baby to this like version of the community. So like even now, it's technically been a year. People are like, oh, you know, this person. I was like, I was never into this game. Like I've been in stream this entire time and I barely played this game at all.
Yeah. I mean, you had that's a lofty starting point, Tim the Tapman, to start your Twitch watching.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard for everyone to live up to that standard. Like you must have a very high standard for what you want to watch.
I think that, well, see, here's the funny thing. I don't think Tim like made my streamer standard very high. I think that honestly, you guys is what made me kind of figure out what type of stream I want to watch. And now it's like, it's so hard to find people to watch because it's like the community, Sock Gang, Miguel's stream, your stream. You guys are just so good at what you do when it comes to this, and not even just entertainment, but I feel like you walk into this place, you go, this is just a cool place to be. Everyone here is very friendly. You guys were very welcoming immediately. Like, again, I was new, right? So it's like, I don't know these people. And even when we were just in Exact Stream, right, it was like immediately welcomed by all these people. And so now the standard's super high because of y'all. Before in Tim's chat, I was just a lurker. I never talked in chat before I went into Miguel's chat. So I was like, I was just not a chatter.
Yeah.
So you guys made me really be like, this is what I want from a streamer. And so now when I look at other streamers, no tea, no shade, but I'm just like, you have to meet this bar. And if you don't meet this bar, it's like, it's not the same level of like fun to be there. Because there's just something magical about this community that's just different, I think, than a lot of other places.
Yeah. And I think like in a similar sort of way, I started watching COD on Twitch, and I think Nick Merckx is probably like one of the number one suggested things. And I was in there, I typed in hi, and like in like about half a second, your message is gone off the screen. And it's like there's so many people in there, it's hard to find, you know, someone to chat with. But if you go into some of these other guys, I got through Iceman Alzak, found Exact, and you guys as well. I don't know, the mods were friendly. You type in a question, people answer you. There's like banter back and forth, and it feels like a community, and sort of you form friendships with people rather than just being a viewer of someone playing a game. And there's something really addictive about that. And yeah, definitely a lot of us I've found feel the same, that they want to create something similar to that and have that space on the internet. And like I said, it's so addicting. And like I've had the opportunity to meet people like you at the same time, and it's a blessing because we're all friends now.
Oh my gosh, that's the weirdest thing, because when I came in, y'all were like superstars. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that's Minges. That's a VIP and Exact Stream. So it's like you guys were like seriously, like seriously, like Helisi and Morris. And then it gets to a point where it's like, these are people I just like talk to. Like even Matt, I didn't really know Matt. And I was like, oh my gosh, look at him. He's doing this thing. He's so good at this game. Now it's like I play with you so frequently. Like it's crazy to see how like everything shifted. But like I was again like being like a newbie. I'm like walking into the space. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at all these important people. And it's like, I DM Morris, I'm playing with B. Like that's crazy, right? All these people that you're like, you see them and they're like this like pedestal, and then it's like, oh, I talk to this person pretty frequently.
Yeah, you realize we're just weird. Normal people.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's also kind of like, I don't know. I think there's something when you're like, this person has power. Like this person's in the it crowd, you know? I'm just a little soy. I'm not in the it crowd.
Well, I mean, you're the number one soy, and
I am the number one soy. That's true. And
I'd like you to explain how you came up with that Leventisthesoy screen name.
I stole it from my brother, who it's the most boring story. I stole it from my brother, who random name generated it. And I was playing Overwatch at the time, like on PlayStation 4. So back on my controller days. Mm-hmm. And I just kept it. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to be this. And I made it my Twitch name, and I didn't think much about it. And it kind of just turned into what it is now. Like with all the emotes and stuff, it's just like, yeah, I beat soy sauce. I'm the number one soy. So how about that?
I mean, some people consider you the best type of milk as well.
Those people are incorrect. There's only one acceptable form of milk, and that is cow's milk.
Okay.
So, yeah. We don't do any nut milks here.
No, nut milks are weird.
Nut milk's not good.
No. But I mean, that's also, I was just about to say, it's the same. You said you found Twitch through Miguel coming from TikTok, and now you're like his mod, your number one mod. You get to play with him when he allows it, and never. But you're in there roasting. You're in there roasting him all the time, and like you guys are friends now. So it's like, how crazy is that? You probably watch him for the first time, like, oh my god, this is this guy. Like you said, pedestal kind of deal.
I think it was like I walked in there. Honestly, like, I love Miguel. So I love Miguel. But the person that made me stay in Miguel's chat was Kingsley. Because we were just talking and chatting. And like at the time, I actually caught COVID. So that's a funny thing. Where I'm like, COVID was technically the best thing that ever happened to me in 2022. Because if I didn't catch COVID, or I guess technically it was 2021. Yep. Goodness. Because that made me stay. Like I was sick, I couldn't go anywhere. So I was literally in chat every single day for like 18 days or something crazy. I had nothing else to do. So I was just like, I remember Kingsley said something to me. He was like, oh, you're just bumping around all these chats. Like I was just talking to everyone because I was like, I have nothing to do. So I might as well just bumble my way through Twitch. And that's why I was up at unreasonable hours when you were streaming. I'm like, yeah, it's 3 a.m. Who cares? I am sick. Might as well hop in here. So he was the reason I stayed, which is, it's kind of funny and he's barely there anymore because he totally is living his life like a good person and just leaving me in the dust here. But Miguel's, chat, it was just something about it. Like Miguel is just he's a really special person. I think like there's very few people you meet who you're like, oh, you have like your stuff together. Like, no one's perfect, but this idea of like someone who's intentional and has thoughtful things to say, but can also just joke and laugh and play and have like this particular environment. And I was like, I love being here. And so like I was just there, and then to get like modded, it's like, holy crap. Like one day I was like, I'm getting a sword. And then now it's like, I don't know, you look at these people, you're like, we're like friends now. And it is the weirdest thing in the world because you don't join this place thinking that those kind of things could happen. And I didn't expect anything when I started going on Twitch, and then to sit there and be like, I have like an entire community around me of people who have supported me more than some people I even know in real life, which is the craziest part. And it's just amazing to see how impactful this community has been and how accepting and loving this community has been when you're like, relatively, I came in here as a stranger, but I was never treated like one.
Yeah. Yeah, I still remember you being one of the fresher ones, one of the newer ones, and finding you on TikTok, and you were making just your own videos about like hair products, skincare, and all that kind of thing.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Finding me. Minges freaking detective sleuthed me. He was like, you do what? Hold on. Let me go sleuth my way through the TikTok.
I'm going to investigate here.
Yeah. Yeah, it was something I kind of started in, I guess, COVID era. I didn't have much to do. And I've always done a lot with like hair and like making products and stuff like that. I think, so, I think I'm an electrical engineer by trade technically. But part of electrical engineering is you learn a little bit about kind of how things interact with each other. And so I think it kind of leads you naturally down to the more of the chemical engineering road, or maybe material science you could call it. But I just always been interested in formulation. So I started like messing around. I was like, let me just post this. Why not? You're doing it, so just post it. And yeah, that was kind of the start of that one. But it's something I've naturally just do. It's a part of my life. And so I kind of just said, this is such a big part of your life. I do it literally every week. It's something, a part of my routine. Might as well just put it out there. And it started growing, and it's weird. It's weird now because so many people don't know that exists. So I guess internet, don't tell anyone that you heard that.
The internet remembers. They'll find out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, eventually. Yeah, it's just it's a part of my life. It's something that I do. I spend so much time on. I spent 8 hours on this. I mean,
it's crazy when you think about, like, we can sit there watching someone. Technically, we're all just sitting there watching someone play a video game most of the time, and people will go through TikTok and they watch yours, and it's like watching someone taking care of their hair or their skin, and it's weird when you really think about it like that.
Well, yeah, because it's kind of like, I don't know. I think it's like sharing. It's like camaraderie, right? Because I think from some perspective, what I kind of noticed with some people from this community is it's exposing them to something they probably don't see. Like I have a special type of hair, black hair, and it's like a different ball game. They think through a lot of other people deal with just because it's really curly and it's really big, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into keeping it kind of together.
Yeah.
And so like people see me, like I look so messed up on half of my TikToks. I'm like, here's the start, and it's just like this messed up, like every direction little afro going on, and it'd be like, here's kind of the steps of how I got to this thing. But I think from people who look like me, it's like when I was going, natural, when I decided I'm not going to relax my hair anymore, I'm just going to let my curls grow. My mom never really had natural hair. No one in my family did. So it was a journey that I went on by myself, and I had to really trial and error, lots and lots of error, my way to where I am now and how much knowledge I had. It was a journey I pretty much went on by myself. And so when I looked at my TikTok, I was like, I'm able to kind of share with other people, hey, here's all the stupid stuff I did. Here's what you shouldn't do, and kind of share what I learned. In just a normal way. Like I try to keep it really casual. It's not super high production. I didn't do all these cameras or angles or try to make it super fun. It was just more of like, let me just give you what you need to know, or try this and let you, hear what it does. And I've got pretty good feedback, and I'm kind of proud of that, because it's just like, it's something that's dear to my heart, because I understand what it's like when you're first starting and you just don't know anything. And you have a lot of people, I think, especially with TikTok and YouTube era, where there's a little bit of like salesmanship that goes in it. Like, obviously it makes sense because they have to make money, right?
Yep.
But it's like, I have no skin in the game. I bought everything myself. Everything I do, I'm doing to my head. There's nothing really for me to gain here. So it's just the truth, just giving you how it is.
Yeah. And I mean, there's something very genuine about that too. Personally, I don't scroll TikTok a lot at all anymore. I never really did. And obviously hair care and products and things like that, it's not really something I look for. But watching yours, there was always something entertaining about it. No matter how basic you try and sell it to me as right now, I think you're very natural in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And I feel like you speak very well, and even if it's just your basic, this is what I do and how I do it, you have a bit of a personality that comes out when you speak in front of a camera, which is really really almost rare.
I mean, I appreciate that. I think naturally, I've just always kind of been very talkative. I'm someone who, if you are trying to get off the phone quickly, you would never call me. I am a talker. I talk about everything. I have an opinion on everything. But a lot of it is just training. Like, I went to a presentation school. I was always the presenter. I did acting, so I was always used to talking in front of people, talking in front of cameras. So a lot of it is just years of, you just get adjusted to it. But I know, like, in school, when I was doing all this robotic stuff, every chance they could put me in front of a camera, I was put in front of a camera, because that's just how I was raised. My mom was like, you're going to be very good speaker. You're going to have confidence when you speak. You're going to carry yourself with confidence. And so it's like, I've been trained my entire life to have this kind of confidence about myself and be able to speak with some type of authority. Well, I'm talking to other people, but I think even just personality wise, I think, as younger, the side effects of acting, I was very self-conscious about how I came off to people and how people perceived me. And then I kind of just hit this age where I was like, dude, I can't control that anymore. Like, I can't control what people are going to say, how I'm going to be received. I can just try to be decent. And so I just try to be decent towards people, and I try to just have fun. I mean, life is depressing enough. We should have a space where you can just relax, kick back, we can talk, we can have fun, we can laugh and joke. And I hope that when people speak to me, they could just see the fun. I'm just always trying to have fun and just chill with people and have good conversation. Nothing too big. So that's what I try to even do with my videos. It's like, I do stupid stuff, I have stupid errors, I have stuff like, I should probably cut that out, but I'm like, just leave it in there, have fun. I mean, even my TikToks, my gaming TikToks, half of it's just me yelling because I'm scaring the piss out of myself, playing games I should never play.
No, that's hilarious. And I think that really comes across as, like I said, genuine, because you leave those bits about your personality in there. You're not like a robot, or you're not trying to do a certain thing and come off a certain way. You're just being you. Yeah.
I'm the worst. Like, it's like, even like trends. I remember, ironically, Miguel, we were talking about TikTok trends, and I was like, I think like I just don't really do them because I just don't care that much. Like, I just like I make stuff because it's me, and I like making stuff that reflects me. And I was like, I don't care about how other people edit or how other people, what trends they're doing, what sounds they're using. I just post me. And if me is good enough, me will be successful. And that's kind of what I lean on. Is I don't worry too much about trying to, match what's going on the internet. I try to just do what I like to do and do what I like to produce, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. Also, I refuse to spend any time putting words on videos. That's like
that's the worst part of it too.
Yeah, I was like, I refuse to do any of that. That's not happening.
Yeah, captioning is not it. Captioning is just bad.
No.
So, at what age did you start the sort of the acting and that sort of training? Because I was going to say, did you feel like if it was at a young age that you've noticed a difference in yourself, or has it just been like you were natural at a young age when you started talking and being, open and loud and confident?
So I think I technically started like 6, but that was like my first introduction, 6 or 7. So that was my first introduction. I did a play and I loved it. I remember it was like a heaven and hell play, and I was like, oh, I want to go to hell, but I ended up going to heaven. But the hell looked so fun because I had like the flames, and I was like, they're like getting dragged down, the guy's screaming. I'm like, I want to go down the pit.
Yeah, that's dramatic. Put me there.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go there. But I think that I think part of it was natural, where I just really loved movies. I loved film. I loved the art behind it. So I just really fell in love with it, and I just happened to be good at it. And honestly, it's like, it was my first love. Acting was my first love. I was really sad when I quit, because I just couldn't deal with the industry and some of the stuff and deals you had to make. And I was like, morally, I can't do that. So I was like, I'm gonna part ways. But I think as a kid, it made me feel really special. Like, I was like, I'm an actor. I would leave school early to go do stuff. I would be, driving to this place, driving to that place. I just really liked how active it was, and I liked how social it was, and how I could talk to all these people, and do something I loved to do. So I naturally just loved it. I loved the get up and go of it. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's part of things, right? Part of it is nature, and part of it is nurture. And I was kind of both. When I found out interest in it, my parents nurtured me into it, and they supported me through everything. I got to do so many cool stuff. So it opened up a lot of opportunity and meet a lot of really awesome people. But I think it just it put me a little bit ahead of other people in my, I guess, age range when it came to communicating. I felt really comfortable talking with adults and kids. I can talk to anyone. I can start a conversation with anyone. So I don't know. I just naturally fell into it. But I also didn't have Disney parents. Like, my parents were not the parents who left me on set or pressured me to do it. It was really like, whenever you want to quit, you can quit. And when I said I'm done, my parents were like, all right. And that was that. And
cool.
I was done. Yeah, so I didn't have the monster side of the whole experience.
Yeah, the child actors with the parents who are full on and pushing you. You got to do it that's the pageantry style. Yeah, none of that. My parents were just my dad was really concerned about safety. Again, there's a lot of messed up stuff that goes on in Hollywood. Yep. So he was really concerned about me just always being safe. Which, by the way, that's why I got a phone very young. I was like, yes, excuse. My mom was like, sometimes I'm not there. You need to have communication. I was like, yeah, communication. That's what I need a phone for. Yeah, definitely, Mom. Thanks.
Yeah, just thank you. Yeah. But that was pretty much it. They just wanted me to be happy, and they wanted me to enjoy whatever I was doing. And so whatever I picked, they just let me do. There was never a struggle. And I think that's one thing I was really blessed with, is that I was always very free to explore myself and what made me happy and felt fulfilled. So even now, when I first started streaming on my birthday, my mom was so excited. She was like, oh my gosh, she was watching, which I was like, don't watch me. I have a filthy mouth, don't watch me. You don't know how filthy my mouth is, but I do, especially when I'm playing Overwatch and I'm mad.
You don't know the people that come in my chat, Mom. You don't want to see what they're saying to me.
Yeah, I was like, you don't see some of the stuff that gets said here. But she was just everyone's just always been supportive. My whole family was. My brothers were supportive of me. My dad was super happy for me. Sometimes if you ever watch my stream, he'll be trying to reach his hand over to tell me bye before he goes to work. But he was he literally sat me down. He was like, I am so proud that you're doing something that makes you so happy. And I was like, that's crazy. Because I hear some people, they're like, oh, my parents. It's my parents have fully embraced everything I wanted to do in my life ever. I'm the most blessed person. I can't even complain. Because even now, my dad's like, I'm just proud that you're just living your life and that you're doing what makes you happy and that you're working your tail off trying to do something with life.
That's so cool to hear. I love that. I love hearing about that. That's awesome. So they were encouraging when you said, I'm going to throw up the stream, or was it just I'm throwing up a stream, by the way, here I am, here's the link. Did you discuss it with them first?
No, I didn't give him a link. I wasn't even going to stream on my birthday. I was like, maybe I should. I don't know. I was like kind of teasing it on Twitter. I was like, should I do this? And then Matt set it all off. He was like, no, here's your settings. You're going to go live. Like Matt did the whole thing. And so I ended up going live and streamed for 9 hours. Crazy. Matt set it all up. My parents found it afterwards. I didn't even talk to them about it. I think they found out from my brother because my brother heard that I was doing it, and they've been trying to get me to stream for a while. And I was just like, I don't think so. Like, it's a different ball game when you're the person supposed to be entertaining versus when you're being entertained. And so it's a different level, not really of pressure, I don't think, but it's just it's a different level of like, can I actually do this whole thing? Like, I've never done it before. I don't have the skill for it. And then you kind of boot up and you're like, oh, this is not bad. But it was always this unobtainable goal that I was always like, I was kind of self-conscious about it. I was like, you're going to see my face and me talk. But I guess that was kind of a benefit. Hopefully, how I type now makes more sense, that you hear me speak and move around, that people go, oh, that's why she can't type. Worth the
Well, first of all, I was going to say I hard disagree with do I have the skill, the ability to do it, because I tuned into your first stream and it was like you're natural, obviously in front of the camera, but entertaining, chatting to people, and you weren't just sitting there locked into what you were doing and totally ignoring anyone who came in. It was a really engaging stream. It was a lot of fun to watch. I was like, she's natural. It's like she's been doing this for months and years. It's crazy.
I appreciate that. I don't know. I think part of it's just because I'm easily distracted. So I'm like, oh, something's going over there. What's that? I'm just naturally moving over. But also I think it's I think some people take gaming very, very seriously. But gaming to me has always just been fun. I'm not a demon in anything. So I'm just here to have a good time and laugh and joke. I am not here to prove anything to anyone, because I cannot prove what I would be trying to prove to anyone. So we're just having a good time.
No, I love that. It's gaming is casual, and to me too, gaming is social. I always grew up gaming with people, or if I was playing against someone, it was still with them in a way. We were playing, having fun. It was never a competitive side to it. But yeah, for me, I need to play with people. I need to, having people in chat is the same thing as having someone in the same room as you, just talking to you about whatever.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how many discussions you have in chat. I feel like chat's so always all over the place.
Oh yeah, it's usually about nothing about what you're doing on stream. Nothing about the game you're playing. Yeah, it's never the same.
My favorite thing is how many conversations aren't even relevant to the streamer. People will literally be talking to each other. You're like, hey, I'm here, guys. They're like, anyways, so Minges, did you hear about what was going on? Completely tuning out this person. We're in a completely separate conversation. I remember one time I was talking with the girl Code from Miguel's stream, and we were talking about bras, and Miguel's sitting there playing COD, sweating his ass off, and we're like, yeah, so have you seen this thing? But I think there's something about that, right? I think that really shows the community you're building when it doesn't matter what you're doing. We're having a good time because we're all here,
Yeah, that's actually my favorite part about being a streamer, is when people come in and they have their own conversations in my chat. It's you're using me as background noise, and I find that very that's satisfying to me. I was like, cool, I love that. I love that you're here having a chat in my chat. It's awesome.
I love seeing you try to read that chat when you're like, wait, what's
it's hard to, yeah, I mean, I'm terrible at reading chat, and I'm if people are discussing their own thing, I'm like, wait, hang on, what are you guys talking about?
Yeah. My favorite thing is people don't really add each other, and I'm guilty of this. I don't add people all the time. Yes. If I'm talking to someone and I'm directly under them, I'm not adding them. So the streamer's like, wait, what the heck?
Yeah, unless you add someone else, it's are you talking to me? What are you?
Yeah. Because I'm so guilty of that. I don't. I'll be like, yo, that's what I was saying, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why are you reading my chat, Minges? Mind your business. I'm talking to them. What are you talking about?
So you've come into this pretty casually, just decided to throw up the stream haphazardly on your birthday. Are you scheduling time? Do you put any thought into what you're going to do ahead of going live, or you pretty much just go and do?
I think it's kind of column A, column B. I think I've taken I call it the paperwork of streaming seriously. Trying to get get stuff set up, get logos set up, get emails set up, try to do that very well. I need to finish my background. That's my next task. But I can't. I'm trying to find potted plants that would fit on this shelf, and it's just not working out. So that's not done yet. But I've taken that stuff more seriously because I think it adds value to your stream overall. Schedule-wise, my thing is, I balance it with work, right? So my work hours can be crazy. I can be still working till 11 o'clock at night. So it kind of depends, but my goal has been like, okay, around 6 to 7, we're going to hop on and try to straight stream and play games because I just enjoy doing it. I enjoy playing games. I'm like, I should be able to do something I enjoy. But I think overall, that's kind of been like my balance has been, okay, we're going to try to get a stream around these times. And that's what I keep in my brain. That's what I try to hold myself accountable for. But instead of content, I'll be like, I think I'm going to crochet today.
Yeah.
And then maybe I will. Maybe I won't. If you saw what happened today, I was struggling the entire way trying to finish this stupid thing. But that's kind of what I do. I go, I'm going to play this game. And usually it changes because people pop on or you get messaged here or there. But I kind of just let that kind of flow where it's going to flow. I mean, I don't know. I'm very casual, Steph. I think some people are just grinders. They're like, I need to get this much content. I got to post this TikTok. I got to make this YouTube video. Versus me, I'm like, if it's a good TikTok, I'll post it. If it's a good video, I'll post it. I don't feel the pressure to like generate this kind of stuff. I think consistency works itself through. I think, you want to put yourself out there on these platforms, but I think that like, I don't think you can't force content. I feel like content that's good and of value and like of entertainment, it's going to just come because it's good. Something about this process was good. Something that you were playing was good. Maybe you just had a good stream. Maybe the people in stream. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't feel the pressure to do any of that. I'm like, you just let it flow. Let it happen as it happens.
That's good. I like that. And there's obviously, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having a goal of I'm going to play this game every day, every hour, and I'm going to make this happen. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But there is something refreshing. I mean, I never thought I'd log into Twitch and sit in someone's chat and chat to them while they're crocheting or knitting or doing something creative like that. I just never imagined that happening, but here we are because the personality is there and it keeps me coming back.
That's the thing is weird. I am surprised how many people who are not in the craft have enjoyed watching the craft.
Yep.
I think one of the things is just, it's cool. Like you're watching something be nothing and all of a sudden it's something. So I think that kind of value is where it's cool. But it's like, I never thought anyone would find it cool. So when people are like, you should actually the first person who told me to crochet on stream was Mr. Minges over here. It was like, you should crochet on stream. And I was like, why? Who wants to see that? Like I'm literally sitting there with my needle, just like, this is something I do like watching like Netflix. Like it's not some entertaining thing, but it kind of just, I don't know, it kind of turned into that. Everyone loves my chunky boy. That has been the topic of discussion. I wonder if I even have it near me. My chunky boy, here it is. Everyone loves this thing. My chunky boy on stream. We're not going to talk why, because it's family friendly. But
is
people have discussed. It is very family friendly. You'll see when you see the VOD. It is very family. But when you have Evie and Beck in your chat, you know what happens. So that's all that needs to be said.
Shout out the homies.
Shout out the homies.
But no, I suggested that because I heard Matt say it once, and like I've heard this saying before, but you could listen to a plumber talk about plumbing if he's very passionate about it. Like hearing people talk about their passions or like show what they're passionate about, there's something entertaining about that. Like you love crocheting and I love watching you crochet because you love crocheting. Do you know what I mean? It's sort of a weird how it works like that, but like if someone enjoys something and they're doing it on stream, it's fun to watch in a way.
No, you're right. I think you'd be surprised at all the random stuff you end up watching because people like there's nothing better than watching someone who actually enjoys what they're doing because I think it's just genuine. I think in this space you have some people who are really passionate about what they're doing, some people who really like it, and you have other people who just happen to be good at something and it's something that they could make money off of, which no tea to them. Look, get your bag however you can get it, but there's just something different when you find someone who's really passionate and enjoys what they're doing versus someone who isn't enjoying themselves. Like I was talking to Smack today about fish, and I was like, oh, I watched this fish guy on TikTok. I don't own fish. I don't plan on ever owning a fish, but it's just entertaining to watch. I watch so many. I literally watch a plumber, Minges. I watch a plumber on YouTube because I just
actually?
Oh, that's fascinating. I actually watch a plumber on YouTube because it's just interesting. You find out all these things and things not to do, but you're like, this is cool. I'm on Clean Talk. My entire laundry routine has been fostered by people who are just passionate about cleaning. And I'm like, oh, I should be doing that then. Oh, I need to clean that thing then. Because when you find someone who really enjoys it and you can see it in their content, of course you're going to watch. Yeah. It just happens to me that I pick some good stuff, so I actually learned some tips. I get some life tips. That's how I justify spending hours on TikTok watching cleaning. It's like, oh, no, I'm just learning how to clean properly. It's fine.
Yeah, just taking notes. Yeah.
I'm just taking notes.
I mean, yeah, I love watching. I've seen Matt do, editing. I've watched B do editing countless times, and I take tips out of that too. How did you learn how to edit, like putting a TikTok together and things? I mean, obviously you're a bit younger. It's natural to your generation. But some people struggle. Some people honestly really don't know.
Oh my gosh, do you really want to know, Minges? Here's the funny part about this. So I used to make super cringy YouTube videos when I was younger, back in the middle school days.
Wait.
So I had some exposure. Yes. All I'm going to say is I made a video making a fake Dr. Pepper video, but it was called Dr. Salt.
What? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm with you. I'm following.
We're not going to go too into it. We're not going to go too cringy was, but that was like what I did in middle school. Because again, I acted, right? So like some things come hand in hand. So even though I hate editing with a passion, I never liked it. But I did all the editing because I was the only one who knew how to do it. Then his like tutorials taught me a lot about at least DaVinci itself. And that's when I started being like, okay, before I used to just edit on my phone. I had this like little editing software and I would just cut and paste. Like I'm not doing anything fantastic. I just slice and post it. I was not someone who was like doing some cool effects and that kind of stuff. So that's pretty much where I learned how to edit, how I edit now. I just watch beat and I was like, what is everyone doing? The only thing I refuse to do, again, I'm not doing this text. I refuse to do it word by word. I did it one time and I said, you know what? Never again.
Never again.
We're not doing that again. Never again. You will not find me doing that. I'm like, you know what? It adds a punch to the video. It looks super cool. I'm going to leave that to the pros. I'm just going to keep with my nice little cut and paste, and it works out pretty well. Yeah. But that's kind of how I got into the editing.
If you want to watch a Leventis video, you have to turn the audio on. You got to turn it up. You got to listen to me.
Yeah, turn it all the way up, you know. You may get those TikTok captions. I may turn that on for you if I remember. But yeah, I can't do it. It's good, and there's a lot of reasons why you should do it. And I think it adds something very visually interesting to the video, but it's a lot of effort. And yeah, the same reason I don't do like those, like you see the videos that like add like memes or stuff in it. I'm like, it's so good, it adds so much value, so much comedic value to a video. Also, no way in hell am I doing that, because it's just, I'm not finding a meme, I'm not fitting it in, fitting the audio in. Like no, or that's not for me. You got to know what lane you're in, and I picked my lane, and that is the simple lane.
Would you consider yourself, this is like a casual thing to you? Do you have plans to take this, to the next level anytime?
I don't know. I think right now I've just been enjoying myself and having fun with everything going on. And yeah, generating content wasn't like a stretch for me because I did it before I technically streamed. So it's like, oh, I know how to do this, and a little bit about TikTok and a little bit about algorithm and all this good stuff. But I think that, I don't know, whatever comes of it, comes of it. I think if you really want to grow, obviously you have to be very intentional about how and why you do things. But I wouldn't even say, if I really took this very seriously, I wouldn't even see much changing, just because that's just true to me.
Yep.
Like, I think even outcome, this is what Lev is. This is what you'll get when you watch Lev. You're going to get someone who's like, look, there's some things I just not bothered to do. Again, I was making stupid Charizard toes, and I was like, you know what I'm not doing? All this extra nonsense. I'm going to do it the way that I think I should do it, because that's just how I do it. And I think, everyone has their own style, and I think you shouldn't run away from that. I don't think you have to do things how everyone does things to be successful. I think you can go down your own path.
And am I right in saying you've been playing a part in helping other people behind the scenes on their own stuff? Management tips, everything like that?
I mean, not really, but like I always give my 2 cents. So you could say, I'm always like, Miguel, you need to do this. Miguel, you need to do this. You need to put this here. So like I am always giving my opinion, but I don't, I'm not helping manage anyone's, stuff. But I do try to do that. I'm always trying to be like encouraging of all the homies and what they're doing, and if they ask me for feedback, I'll give it. I try to be really good about that though. I don't think people give enough feedback. So I try to, if something like stands out to me that's particularly egregious or particularly fantastic, I'll be like, hey, by the way, you should know X, Y, and Z. Because I think that that's helpful to someone who wants to improve. Like, I don't know, besides like rude TikTok comments, how often does someone tell you, hey, Minges, that probably wasn't the move. This wasn't the best, Or just be like, no, that was actually really good. Like that, I tell you all the time about your podcast. I was like, dude, I saw it from the very beginning to where it is now. And I'm like, I am astounded by what you have done with not really knowing much about this. Like, this is not your thing, but you found something you wanted to do. You took the time and took the steps to do it. and you've given yourself the space to grow and do that. And I think that's what matters the most. You didn't do what I think some people do, is they overthink it and they never do it. You said, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to figure it out as I go. And that's commendable. And you've done very well. And someone should tell you, hey, Minges, you've done fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Feel very awkward taking the compliment on my own podcast. So we're going to talk back about you again.
Take the compliment. You deserve it. Take positive reinforcement. That's the worst thing about this community. No one can take a compliment.
It's rare.
You're fantastic.
It's rare though. If you really think about it, how much social media we're all on and consume and view, and there's, I don't know. What percentage would you say is more toxic compared to positive out there, just in general? Like 80% toxic?
It has to be like 80. I was going to say, it has to be like 80%. Because I think people who are too afraid to say what they really want to say use social media to say what they really want to say.
Yeah.
Instead of just saying it in real life. And part of that's sad, because I feel like you should just say what you want. Like, I'm about being unapologetically who you are. Because, again, it doesn't mean you can go around being a douche to people. But it's like, you don't have to hide what you believe, what you like, what you don't like. Like, you should be comfortable being who you are. Because that's who you are. That's the only person you're going to be. So you should embrace that. But that's why I think I make such a point, like, especially on the internet, to be just genuinely nice. Like, I roast people a lot, that is true. But I think under it all, there's a lot of love that comes from me to people, and a lot of support that comes from people, because I want people to know, like, hey, I see your vision. I want to support that vision. You're talented at what you do. Like, I want to reinforce something to people, because there's so much negativity. Someone should be nice.
Yes. Sometimes. No, I think if you can't roast your friends, you can't roast anyone. But I feel like you're correct. There's a lot of people who put comments, like random viewers on a random video, just rude, ignorant, all that kind of stuff. 100% other things they would never say to somebody in person or to someone's face.
Oh, they would never either. That's why they're on the internet.
Exactly.
Because if you were so confident in what you were saying, you wouldn't have to hide your name. You wouldn't have to hide your face. You would be able just to say it.
Yeah, they got the grey outline profile picture. There's a random generated nickname. No offense.
Wow, I could take a stab here. But it's like you have to have confidence in what you're saying, and like some people, everyone's gonna have an opinion that people are gonna disagree with. It doesn't matter what it is, right?
Yep.
For example, tier list. Even though I make the best, everyone has something to say. On a face. Everyone has something to say with how I rate stuff, but it's like you should feel comfortable just saying what you want to say. I don't really see the big deal with people and like hiding that. Like, I don't know. Maybe I took a test that told me I don't have a good assessment of risk, and maybe that's what it is. That like it did. It's like you take risks that you don't think are risk, and I was like, that's because like at the end of the day, like it is what it is. Who else are you supposed to be? You can't force me to change my mind. Like, my opinion is my opinion. What I'm going to say is what I'm going to say. Yeah. You should be decent. You shouldn't be, like, rude to people. But, look, Coke is a terrible soda, and Dr. Pepper is the best. These are just objective facts, and you have to accept it.
See, I think everyone is entitled to their opinion, even if their opinion is wrong like that. But 100%, 100%, you can. I think there's a way you can say things without coming across like a douche or like really ignorant. There's obviously some things that are off limits that you're not really going to ever say to somebody. But I think people aren't very good with how they deliver criticism or something they want to say. I mean, there's good ways to say potentially bad things.
Well, yeah. Like, okay, for example, right? You can have a friend who looks awful in a shirt. And there's a bunch of different ways you could say that. You could be a douche and be like, oh my gosh, that's the worst shirt I've ever seen. Take that off immediately. Or you could be like, you know what? I don't think this is for you.
Yeah. People don't have to talk to each other.
Truth.
Yeah.
People probably don't like hearing it. But you know what? When you see those wedding photos, you're going to thank me for not letting you wear that terrible shirt. And I think that's kind of thing is like, you just have to be decent to people. I think that's what I drive the most. It's like, I try to treat people with decency regardless of our differences, because so many people are terrible to you and terrible to people, and it's so hard to me it's so hard to be that rude. It's incredibly easy to be decent. You don't have to be nice, but you can just treat someone like a human being, and I think that's what we should all strive to be. It's just Human decency. I don't go on people's TikTok posts unless I'm joking, like y'all, but y'all know me, so I can be a little heinous, and everyone goes, "Oh, that's just love." But just try to be decent to people. There's no need to leave terrible comments towards people. You can disagree with someone. Like, you can not like Warzone 2, or you can like Warzone 2, and you can be like, no, I like Warzone 2. No, if a content creator berates you for saying you like Warzone 2, everyone's going to be on your side. They're not going to be on this content creator side. So, like, you don't have to be heinous and be, like, just disrespectful for no reason. People just be out of pocket all the time. I read y'all's comments, and I'm like, what is this guy on? Particularly on YouTube.
Just hostile for the sake of being hostile, and that just makes people even more angry and enraged.
Yeah, and you're like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And they're like all rude, or I don't know. But also, that's how you can tell who sucks at the game. Is they're always like, oh, you can't. I remember someone told, what did they tell me ago? They're like, oh, that's that rotational aim assist. What? What are you talking about?
Okay.
You're like, bro, what? Yeah, you're like, what are you?
Yeah, okay.
What? You're just talking for no reason.
Have you ever been on the receiving end on one of those things, either on the Twitch or the TikToks or anything like that on YouTube?
Oh my gosh, all the time. I mean,
really?
Yes, TikTok not as much, because to be fair, when you get into to conflict on natural hair TikTok, it's all about hair care. It's never really as personal. It's always like texture this, product this. Like, it's always like stupid technical blah blah stuff. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
No.
YouTube, when acting, you get a little bit of stuff. Twitch, the other day, I actually got, like, but for me, it's usually like related to being a girl or to being black. So you get those things a lot. Shout out Curse for throwing the hammer so quick. So that was like I literally on Twitch the other day, and I was like, this is my, I was pretty proud. I was like, it's been 1 month, and this is the first time this has happened. Good job, Twitch. It's not that toxic. This is the first time it happened. But that's usually where it goes to. Most of the time I feel like, I don't really feel uncomfortable. But when I get like heinous stuff said to me, it's when I'm playing video games, particularly Overwatch. The moment people hear your girl, it gets super weird. Super weird.
Yeah, the voice comms thing, it's not even just an Overwatch thing. It's just been in gaming for so long. It's hard to say why.
It's because people are weird.
People are weird.
And they think you're like self-conscious about it. Like, to me, it's funny because I'm like, you look ridiculous. Like, the idiot in this conversation is you.
You do look crazy. Stupid. You look so stupid.
So I'm just laughing. Like, I'll be playing with USA, and we're playing Overwatch. Someone will be like, "Oh, shut up, you're a girl," and I'm like, "You look cringy. You look ridiculous. I'm trying to help you save face here, buddy. Tone it in, tone it down."
Is that the only thing you can say? Can
exactly. It's like,
find something else bad to say? This is not bad.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we have a weirdo, and it happens all the time, and it's just like, but I don't know. I'm not still one who like takes things very like to heart. Like, it doesn't bother me because I find it hilarious. Because to me, it's like, it's just funny. It's like, of all the stuff. But the problem is they can't pick on my gameplay because I'm doing better than you. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's like, well, this is what you think it bothers me. So you're going to pick at it. And that's what people do, right? That's why they use race, they use your gender, they use whatever, right? But whatever they think bothers you, they're going to pick at. And the difference between them and me is none of this bothers me. Like, it doesn't, you're a girl, yes. You're black, yeah. These are all objective facts. You can see both of them. It does not bother me at all. So when you point it out, I'm like, you look stupid because you're trying to like bother me and you can't. But also, I'm the product of living with a bunch of boys who like roast the hell out of you. So it's like, I have siblings. Yeah. I'm immune to all of this. Like, you can't get at me. I've been doing this for 24 years, buddy.
Been doing this my whole life.
Yeah, my whole life. You're gonna have to throw something way better to try to get at me in my feel. So it's just like, it's just stupid stuff. And so you see the people write this. You're like, you put so much energy into this comment, and it does nothing to me. But that's what I love. That's where toxic love comes out. Because I'm like, imagine, I love when people are so emotional and they're so mad, and you're just like, okay.
Okay, have a great day, sir.
Sure. All right. God bless you. You just don't care. Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you address that? Like, Do you just, like, you're laughing it off the whole time? In the stream when that happened, do you just laugh it off, or you just ignore, or do you address it?
Yeah, it's like, wow, you came in super hot. Good afternoon to you. Like, hey, you should start with a hello first.
Yeah, hello.
Like, I mean, what are you supposed to say? You already threw out your card. You said all the words. What else are you supposed to say? Like, am I supposed to get mad? I think some people get, like, which understandably, right? They get very offended. They're like, oh my gosh, I can't. It's a joke to me because you would never, like, here's my hot take. Hot take here. I don't think a lot of these people are as heinous as people say they are. I think there are people who are going through things who say heinous stuff because something's going on in their life.
Yep.
And so to me, it's like, I could make it worse and I could be a dick back to you. Or I could be like, you know what? I'm just gonna be normal. Like, that's how I see it. I just feel like you're probably someone who's just really having a terrible day and you're trying to spread your misery and you're not going to spread it to me. And I'm going to treat you just like I would treat anybody else coming in chat, because what else should I do? I mean, hi, hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good day. That's about it. I'm not going to fuel your fire or make it worse. I could make this whole, like, grand stand and be like, look how, but no, I don't think you need to do that. I think sometimes I'm big on having grace towards people, because you never know what's going on. So here's your grace. And sometimes they could just be kids and doing stupid kid stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not going to yell at a 12-year-old. like
That's the thing. You don't know who you're talking to. And the thing is, just clapping back at someone who's angry is giving them what they want.
Yeah.
I don't want to give you what you want. They want a reaction. And obviously they can say some terrible things, and they shouldn't. And I feel like the need to feeling the need to argue back is the natural reaction. And it might be the right one, it might be the wrong one, but a lot of the time when you're dealing with people on the internet, like you said, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know if they have issues, like serious issues. They could be a child. You don't know. It could be any one of those things.
People do stupid stuff. I don't know. I like having a lot of grace towards people, because no, I've never said something like that on the internet, but I had good parents. So
yes, exactly.
I wasn't even allowed to talk on the internet as a child. I was not 10 years old chatting in chat like my parents. We didn't do that. My mom was like, you don't talk to people. You don't do that, which is funny, because now I'm like, I do everything you told me I'm not supposed to do, but I guess now I'm an adult, so it doesn't count.
It's the parent. Like, I feel like I grew up the same way. My parents are like, you treat people how you want to be treated. If I was staring at someone, I was 5 years old, I was staring at, what are you staring at someone for? And you would cop a backhander if you would, I don't know, just out of place. You said the wrong thing. It was different. Yeah. And some people just don't get that
type of way.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because I don't know. I think some people, there is a benefit to being very understanding of your children, because again, grace and understanding. But sometimes you got to tell your kid to shut the hell up. Like, this is not a time for you to talk. And I think that was the thing where it's like, I was very aware of adults and my parents' authority, and so it's like, I always knew my parents were trying to keep me safe. Like, you're trying to keep me safe. There's a reason why you don't want your 10-year-old talking to a bunch of strangers on the internet.
Yep.
There's a reason you don't want them to have, like, I would never let a 10-year-old on Twitch. Like, some of the stuff there that's just advertised casually, I would never let them on Twitch. I wouldn't let my kid on YouTube at 10 years old, unmitigated, filtered. So I think that's part of the problem too, right? You just have a bunch of dumb kids, and sometimes I see people like yelling at these people, like, oh, this is probably a kid. Even like if you hear a kid in COD like swearing, cussing, right? And people are like, this terrible kid. And I go, this is not a terrible kid. This is terrible parents. I would never be on COD speaking like this and using these words at 10 years old.
Yep.
That would never happen.
I was young playing COD. I'd never said half of these things people are saying, because if I ever uttered those words and my parents heard me, that's the end. It's over.
Yeah, I like some of the words. I'm like, I would never. Yeah. I would never. They would never even come into my mind to do that. But see, also, I wasn't even in voice chat. When I was playing Overwatch the first time, I remember I had these people who were trying to squad up with me, and I was like, I can't. And by the way, I was 17 years old, and I was like, I can't talk to them. They're strangers. I can't. My parents don't let me talk to them. They're strangers. So like, it was a completely, I don't know, it was just completely different. But it's about, decorum. That's why, especially with kids, I try to be very forgiving with kids. Because I'm like, to me, it's not a failed kid. It's a failed parent. No, if you stay that way as an adult, that's on you. Because now you're an adult. You can choose what you want to say, what you want to do, how you want to act. But as a kid, it's like, this is someone who is a product of their upbringing. Their parents have clearly communicated to them that this is okay. And that's on them. That's not on this child. Like, your entire job as a parent is to raise this kid. And if your kid is on the internet using all type of profanity, that is a example of you.
That's exactly. That's a reflection on you, not on the kid.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give young Lev? Even if it was young Lev from 2 years ago, before you started uploading TikToks and doing all this.
I would say to not limit yourself. I think that's what I did a lot, is thinking that I'm not suited to do this, because my biggest thing, at least with streaming, was like, you're not good at games. You can't do this. And it's like getting into this community and having so much encouragement. It's like, you can just do whatever. You can just boot up. You don't have to be good. And then meeting people even outside of this community, just randomly following in. It's like, yeah, I don't have to be good at this. I can just, being you is enough. And that's okay. I think that'd be the biggest thing. Also, I would say take systems and control way more seriously than you did when you took it.
Systems and control, really.
You need that. You needed that class, and you did not take that very seriously during COVID. So you should probably get your stuff together and taking that more seriously.
Oh no, is that a problem now? Is that?
It kind of pops up, and I was like, dang it! I had to go through my old notes. I'm like, dang it!
Oh no.
Why did I not do this enough? But I think just having more confidence. I think maybe it's just getting older, but I think sometimes when you have more stakes, you know, when I transitioned into this community, I had just graduated college. I was getting my first adult job. Everything was changing. And you feel this like box where you're like, crap, I'm like an adult and I have to, everything's super serious and I got to take everything super serious. And it's like, you don't have to box yourself in and you don't have to worry about all these things. Like, you're going to be fine. It's okay. Yep. You're going to find your place. And whether that's what I'm doing now, whether it's doing something different, whether it's streaming, whether it's not streaming, it's like, you're going to find where you're supposed to be, because I believe that when something is for you, you will have it. So don't worry too much. Just have fun. And I think that's what I've been doing recently. I've just been like, you know what? I'm going to have fun and do what I want to. I don't have responsibilities, so I can. I don't have anyone who looks up to me to take care of them. I can just do what I want to, and that's okay. I don't have to stress and try to act like I'm 46, trying to feed a family of 5 and raise, like, I'm not doing all that. Just have fun.
Yeah. Have you had that sort of somebody in the scene who's said that to you, or you just figured it out by yourself? Like, is there anyone that you bounce ideas off or anything like that?
I don't know if it's anyone I bounce ideas off of. I think it's been very collective. Like, I think sometimes I'm not very forthcoming with how I feel. That's actually something to work on in 2023. I'm very, like, I don't know. I always feel like I burden people with problems. So I've always been someone who's like, don't burden people with problems. Don't burden people with what you're doing. But I think that, like, I talk to y'all collectively, the entire community, and I get things that, like, either, oh, this could be cool, or that could be cool, or maybe I should do this. It's like, you guys have you guys will say stuff and it'll just be on my mind. So that's kind of like where it comes, like, idea wise, it'll just be on my mind. Oh, you should do this, you should do that. But when it comes to, like, really feeling comfortable, it was just collectively everyone, like, feeling comfortable to put yourself out there in a different way was you guys. This was not something I think I would have started uniquely by myself to do. I think it was something where you guys made me feel very comfortable doing it, and that's why I started doing it. That's why I think what made the first stream so important to me was that it was the first year back on Twitch. It was my first year being a part of the community. We hit 1 year, and it's like my life completely changed being on Twitch with y'all. How I felt, certain aspects of my life, I felt more confident than I never felt before. I don't know. It's just like, it was just so, you know, I think that a lot of people don't realize how much you impact other people as you actually do. And y'all have impacted me so much, and it felt so much to me. And then especially that day, I didn't expect anyone to even really be in there. I was like, oh, I guess my brothers will pull through. I didn't expect anything. And to see what happened, it's like, y'all mean absolutely the world to me. And being there with y'all and experiencing that with y'all, and you guys being there, you know, like, babes basically holding my little hand. Matt carried me all the way to the stream, just hand holding me to get all stuff up. It meant so much because it's like, it was something I was uncomfortable with, and I had people who were just there rooting me on, supporting me, doing something that I wasn't comfortable with no judgment, all love. Like, that's crazy. And I think that's why it's funny when I talk about, like, IRL versus Twitch. It's like, there's people on IRL who thought what I wanted to do was absolutely stupid, or that, like, I posted my TikToks absolutely stupid, who didn't support any of that stuff. And it's like, I came here and no one said anything about anything to me. Like, no one, everyone's just like, do it, go do it, have fun with that, try that. It was never like this, like, second thought, oh, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do this. And that's crazy. But that's why it means so much to me, because it's like, this is why I do what I do now, is because of just where I landed up. And I just happened to land up in the best community on Twitch.
Hands down.
Hands down.
How does it feel being on the other side of the camera, so to speak? Like reading chat and just talking and doing and multitasking. We'd like to roast streamers not reading chat or being muted or making mistakes, changing the wrong scene, cameras upside down. How does it feel now being on the other end of that?
Are you calling me out right now? You're like, you said everything I do. I click like 4 buttons. I'm like, which scene are we going to?
Yeah. Everyone does it.
Yeah, I mean, muted. I do that all the time too. Oh my gosh. I think it's fun. I think what I really like is it's easier to communicate to people your intention when you're talking to them instead of typing to them. So I really like people being able, I think it just shows you more about who I am and how I act and how, like I said, how I speak, how I talk. I always say, hopefully when you see me talk, you understand why I type the way I type or what my jokes are like and how I'm, trying to deliver them through text. But I love it. I mean, even the roasting, it feels fun. I feel like if you can't roast your friends, then you're not really friends. So to me, it's like, oh, we're chill. I'm cool with these people. Like people are comfortable enough to talk to me this way. Or even tell me things. It's funny to me when I was like, someone wanted to have like a serious conversation with me. And like the fact that you're comfortable enough to reveal this part of your life to me, it's crazy. Because it shows that there's this trust that's building. There's this friendship that's building, something that actually matters. The fact that people are trying to figure out how to meet each other. And, if I'm coming here, I got to see this person, that person. It's like, that's crazy thing to think about. So it's like, I absolutely love it. That's why I kept doing it. I was like, oh, this is fun. Let me keep doing it. So I just kept doing it. And I keep doing it because I just enjoy doing it.
I love that. And the goals for 2023, you said being more comfortable, taking it to the next level, or just being you?
I think my goal 2023 stream goal is to have 1,000 viewers and no, I'm joking.
Everyone drop a sub right now.
Everyone drop a sub right now. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. No, I think the biggest thing for me streaming this year would be trying to be very consistent. My goal is at least 2 times a week, which is always going to be the weekend. So at least 2 times a week. Everything else is just the little skittle throughout the week, little treat for you. But I think that's a big one. Next one is being better with content. Around Christmas time, every bit of content, I was like, I don't want to edit anything. I have all this footage that I need to edit that I just sitting on my hard drive waiting to be edited because I hate editing. So I think that's one thing. It's like, do that stuff. But I think that, I don't know, I feel like streaming kind of weirdly interloped itself into my personal growth because I think the idea of just being more comfortable has been a really big goal with me because, I don't know, I think when you're not an expert on something, you just naturally feel uncomfortable. You're like, this is not my field, this is not what I do. So that travels even to work. It's like, yeah, you go to school for something, but going to school for something, actually doing something completely different. It's like, I want to get comfortable there, I want to get comfortable streaming. But I think we're making good progress. I think you have to get to a point where you just don't stress it. And that's been my thing. It's like, I'm not gonna stress anything. It's just gonna be what it is, and what happens. And all I can do is prepare, do the best I can do. But what the outcome is, that is for God to decide. I just have to sit there and let it be done.
I love that. And I love the passion. I love how you've been natural in front of the camera. And obviously, I enjoy watching you doing anything. And I think that says a lot about your personality. Very engaging, very good to watch. And I'm wishing you every success in 2023.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I will be honest. I was surprised you asked me to do this. I was like, Minges, I don't think you realize it. It has been a month yesterday.
I know. I honestly, after watching your first stream, I considered asking you to come on here. I just wanted to see you for a bit longer, but I was so inspired watching your first stream. I was like, she's a natural. I need to talk to her about it.
That's crazy. That's why when I was in your DMs, I was like, are you sure? Me? What? Yep. Really? Why? I have nothing to offer you. I'm fumbling and bumbling around. You're the pro. I should be interviewing you. No. You got plenty to say, and I love it. So I appreciate you coming on, man. It's been a pleasure, and we can do it again in the future, I hope. Of course, always. It was nice to actually like having a one-on-one conversation with you. It's so interesting to like actually talk to you and not type to you, or vice versa.
Yeah,
so.
I know.
But yeah, thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man.
I appreciate you.